Hi, Dave Snyder here. It is the 9th night of June 2016, and this is a weather pattern from it's over Japan. As you can see, I got Japan right there, and it's oversized. It's way oversized. I realize that, but it's so that I can show you a little easier. This is the weather. I think I saved this during those earthquakes, right after those earthquakes, or right around that. You know, yeah, it was after the big earthquake thing that they had there in Japan recently, and like a month ago or whatever. And I saved this picture and I overlaid it with another pattern of the that was on the moon. But I want to show you. This is for all my Japanese friends that I don't have, but I wish I did because they're so cool. Um, I mean, I learned so much from watching things, you know. And this is a Usagi, the rabbit, and this is the weather. This weather was right after the earthquakes. It was just like the day after, yeah, the following day after the probably the last big one or something. When they were starting to settle down, they were starting to settle down already, but they were still going on. And this was the weather over Japan that day, right? And this is what shaped that weather, what shapes it. And this was pretty easy to put down an overlay and a line. This is a picture of the moon that's backwards. Picture of Mare Moscoviense backwards. And this is where the Easter bunny comes from. And this is where the Easter egg comes from. See that? See, it looks like an egg like this. Look, there's your egg, right? And inside you have the rabbit. It looks like a mouse too, which is where you get Mickey Mouse or whatever. But it looks like a rabbit, and this is where the real rabbit of the moon comes from. The one that they show on the side we see, you can call that a rabbit, maybe looks like a rabbit, whatever. But this is the actual rabbit. So, I mean, if it's real, you know what I'm saying? If this is really on the moon, but there's so much they've tried. I mean, if it's not true, then they've tried really hard to make people, I don't know, to hide it or whatever. But this is everywhere. This pattern, this shape is everywhere. The Japanese in Japan, they have those lakes. Those, you know, those they're like I don't know, a monument or like some kind of shrine or something. But they got those lakes that look like that shape. This is more straight than this, but it's got a round bottom, and it's like long, looks like a keyhole almost or something. But that's it right there. That's where it comes from. It comes from this. Just like when you look up, I showed a video recently where you look up Mayan moon rabbit, right? And you'll see the sculpture, or the artifact, or whatever it is that comes up, and it's shaped exactly like this, with a rabbit inside of it. You know, and then you got like Argentina's state symbol is the egg, and I'm not going to go into what's inside the egg. But there's crazy things everywhere. This is just such a crazy thing. This is important though, because you see that the weather right there is this is not even the best one. I've got better ones somewhere that I've showed recently too. But this is Japan. This is what look. Let's turn it over so you can see Tokyo. I think there's a couple of spots that are a little bit off, but like I wanted to get a little bit of everything in place. Like this dark blue ring, that's the hole. Okay, but it's actually that's not bad. And then you know, this right here where you got this corner. I got to turn around because I'm used to looking at it a certain way when I do these. But see this little corner in the yellow right there? That corner is right here. I can't get everything in the exact place, but it is right there. That corner is right there. And then this crater here that you see at the bottom right here, it's affecting it a little bit right here. You can see something right here which accounts for that. Then you got that one. I wanted to get that one in place right there, make sure that stayed there. And then you get this V shape right here. This like this V shape there. See how it's got this that sticks out. This comes from this. I mean, it's not the best example maybe, but it's the same. Look at Japan. Look at Japan. Oh, look at that. Tell me that's right there. Look at this. Start right here at that spot right there. Look at that. Okay. And you know what? You and I are looking at this in detail for the first time. I looked at it a minute ago and just seen it. I think this is actually Tokyo, where that hole would be. I'm not sure about that. Maybe not. But wherever Fuji is, the biggest mountain, wherever Fiji or whatever is the biggest mountain in Japan, that's probably where that goes right there. That's what I always think. It can't be right, like I said, it can't be right on every time. But then you see it's the same. This whole chunk right here is the same shape as this right here. Okay, moving up, and you got this part right here that straightens out to a long, and you got the same something in the same shape right there going up, and then it goes around. Right? I could easily, and you got this. I mean, I could see that completely, and then you see how this is missing out of the weather picture. But I have pictures of the weather here that show that perfectly. I mean, nice. That's a nice spot right there. Nice overlay. Sometimes it shows this big spot here and that area there, but they knock that out. I'm telling you, they knock it out. They won't show. I don't think they want to show that anymore. They pretty much wiped out the good stuff. They show it sometimes. Sometimes it'll line right up, but that's, you know, you're gonna either know what you're doing a little bit or just kind of get lucky, which is basically what it all is anyway. Once you get the practice doing it, it's once you know the familiar patterns, it's just like that. And this will fit inside Mare Oriental too. I've already showed that. But that's Japan, I'd say right there. So anyways, that's a good alignment. This is Mare Moscovians back here. You got to get this picture. Make sure you get that picture. Don't use the other one off. You can't use the one off Google Earth. You want to see what it looks like on Google Earth? I'll show you. I think I should show you. Come on. Thank you. I mean, just look at the moon on Google Moon. It's ridiculous, people. I mean, this is it right here. That's what it looks like on Google Moon. See, place names. Yep, place names. Mare Moscovians on the back side of the moon, and then look at all the lines. Why? How come they have this all with no lines, but this all got lines through it? And then you go around here, it's all no lines. Lines there. Lines. This is all messed up. You can see that. Right here is just ridiculous. All around Mare Orient, down here by Mare Oriental. What are they hiding there? You know, I mean, they're hiding a lot around the outside. This whole moon is ridiculous. But I mean, if it's what you got to start with, that's what you got to start with, and it does actually help at times. Like this is an impact. Right here, the center of an impact. It's big. It's actually big. You got to think like this. These areas that are supposedly not showing anything, but you know, they were big impacts too. But they've been covered by the debris and the stuff that rains down from these impacts. Look at this. This right here, I've had this whole side of the moon aligned on the Earth before. It's just, this is an impact. This is South America. When you look at the moon at night, like this, right here. Say it's like that, right? Full moon is something like that. That is South. This whole thing right here is South America. This whole shape, right here, backwards. It's backwards though. This is Chile's right here on this, right here, and this is the other side, right? And then so this is backwards. But when you look at this right here is South America. This whole shape right there. And you know how big South America is? Go check it. Let's measure this right here. Right here. We'll just start right there and we'll go down. I mean, we're going to go down to this bright spot right here. We'll just go right there. 1,500 miles, right? See that? It's just backwards on the moon. Go from the top. 4,500 miles. And when the moon sits on the Earth, it takes up this whole spot. And the moon is bigger around than the spot. And this is 3,200 miles. The Arctic Circle is, and so it's definitely bigger than 3,200 miles. If it sits here, it's just sitting there, or it sits above here, or something. It sits. It's got to be bigger. It leaves prints on the Earth bigger than the moon, bigger than they say the moon is. I mean, South America is 4,500 miles that way, 3,000 miles that way. That's supposed to be bigger than the moon, but you go back to the moon and it's just that one part. See, this is just Imbrium right here. This Imbrium goes right around here. So Imbrium must be, just the Imbrium crater must be about 3,000 miles, close to it. I mean, maybe a little less because it's circular right here. So it would be about 2,800 miles in a circular diameter on the moon, which is bigger, you know, what, 700 miles bigger than they say the moon is. I mean, overall. So definitely look into that. I mean, you're going to find out every time that it's going to be bigger. Every print, everything in the weather, everything on the Earth shows it to be bigger. That's all. See, you measure this whole thing. But this would be about 2,800 miles. We'll just go like this from here to there. 680 miles. Yep. Quite a difference there. And then you got this Mare Oriental, which is it's ridiculous. See, it's got rings that's not even showing here. Actually, this is 3,200. This is what, 3,100 miles, 3,200 miles. The whole impact is 3,200 miles in diameter in reality, and it's shit. Right, look at this. That, I don't know how it comes. It's not 10 times bigger, but it's pretty much 10 times bigger than what they show here. They don't show the whole thing here. It actually has more rings that go out here that are not showing that on Google Moon. You got to get your own pictures. This whole thing is one impact. See that? That whole dark space is not just a bunch of little ones. It's a big impact. This is a big impact. One big impact. Or these spots were where it was phase locked to the Earth or another planet or something. But definitely all these fit the Earth. All this fits the Earth. All this stuff is all fit the Earth. This fits the Earth. The lunar south pole fits the Earth. This definitely fits the Earth. And you got this one all over the Earth too. So, and the North Pole, I haven't even really tried much with the North Pole, but I just imagine it. Maybe it's there's so much more going on with the rest of it that you don't even need the North Pole. Basically, they don't give you much to work with anyway there. So what the hell? Just work with what you got. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for watching.